What's going on, everybody? December 29th, and this is either going to turn out epic or awful. We're going to attempt a recipe here, making some sort of like microwave protein cake sort of thing. Almond milk, this is unsweetened. Quest vanilla milkshake protein. Quest multi-purpose mix, which it looks as though you can make pancakes, muffins, and donuts. And this Trader Joe's reduced guilt brownie mix. All right, so we're gonna zero out the scale. We're gonna use 1 serving of this mix, which is 32 grams. Next, we're going to take the Quest multi-purpose mix and add 1 scoop of that. All right. And then we're just going to add some unsweetened almond milk to get the consistency of like a pancake or a cake batter. So that's the consistency we're looking for, similar to like a cake or a brownie batter. All right, we're gonna take some non-stick cooking spray, spray this down a little bit. Take the batter and put it into this bowl. Make sure you have a microwave safe bowl. You could do this in the oven, I'm sure, if you want, but we're too lazy and impatient to wait for that to preheat. And into the microwave we will go for, start with a minute. We'll see, hopefully it doesn't explode in there. All right, well that's going in the microwave. We're going to make the frosting. So we're gonna use about half a scoop of the vanilla protein powder. A little bit more of this unsweetened almond milk. Again, not really measuring it, we're just going by consistency. So go ahead and give that a mix. If you need to add more, which we'll definitely need to do. And that's what we're looking for here, just like an icing for a cake. Let's go ahead and slide it out. Come on. There we go. So it's square, like a cake. We probably made much more icing than we actually need. And yeah, like I said, maybe only half a scoop, a quarter scoop of that vanilla protein powder. This was half a scoop and it made a ton, so I'm only gonna use half of it. That's it. So let's see if it tastes good or tastes like shit. I'll show you guys actually what the inside of it looks like. It's actually still pretty moist, which is surprising being that I microwaved it. Focus. So it actually looks pretty decent in there, but pretty impressed with that. I'm sure if I tweaked the recipe a little bit, it would actually be really good. But for high protein, extremely low fat, low carb cake, it's awesome, and I would definitely throw peanut butter or maybe try chocolate protein powder or something, but overall not bad. Gonna finish this up and then start the day. Hey Zeus. You sleepy? You excited to go to the groomer tomorrow? We're gonna get you all washed and cleaned up. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. So it's almost January 1st here in New York, and as you can see, we got some beautiful blue skies. A little bit chilly outside, but not too bad. I'm wearing a Gymshark track jacket and still pretty warm, so no need for a heavy winter coat yet, which I'm always cool with, but I'll probably just jinx it, and I'm sure it will start snowing in about 5 minutes. Off to run a few errands, and a lot of people ask me what kind of dog do I have. I've mentioned before, but his name is Zeus, and he's a Newfoundland. He's around 130 pounds, which is considered small for that breed of dog. I've actually had 2 other Newfoundlands before who were around more towards like 140, 150 pounds. And I've actually owned a St. Bernard who was 180 pounds. So I'm used to big dogs. They're a lot of fun. And unfortunately, you know, as they get older, they run into some health complications. You know, when you're carrying that much weight around as a big dog, your hips and joints start to go. And Zeus is 11 years old, which is almost unheard of for a dog of his size or of that breed. A lot of them don't live that long, and if they do, they tend to run into a lot more problems. Zeus is doing pretty well. You know, his hips and joints are getting a bit weaker. It makes it difficult for him to get up on the hardwood floors, but you put him outside and he'll go running across the grass. So I think Zeus still has a lot of fight left in him. All right, so we're about to head out to the gym in just a minute here, and in yesterday's video, a lot of people were asking me, what kind of cup is this and where could you get one? I'm not sure where you can get it exactly, but it was given to me as a gift from my soon-to-be sister-in-law, so Taylor, if you're watching this, thank you, I appreciate it. And this is actually meant for alcohol as a cocktail shaker, and I'm using it for a pre-workout mixer for the gym. So it's called the Rabbit, and no, not that kind of rabbit, you perverted people. This is similar to, I believe it's called a Vortex, which is actually made for mixing pre-workouts and protein shakes. But all you do is press this button right here, and it stirs the drink for you. And then you press it again to shut it off, and that's it. Not that I'm so lazy that I can't just shake it up, but it was a gift, and it seems to come in handy. So, yeah, that's what we're doing here. I think I just spilled that. We got leg day today. Rocking my Gymshark Fit hoodie. I'm wearing a large if you're interested in picking one of these up. Gymshark link is in the description below. Fusaro10 is your code to save you 10%. But enough of that. Let's go hit the gym. All right, so we are back in the gym for leg day, starting out with some squats as always, and it feels really good to be back squatting again, and I'm really happy with the improvements I've made in my form and in my strength levels from when I started with just a bar not too long ago. And what I've been focusing on is each squat session, I focus on improving one thing, or I only try and think about one thing, because as you guys know, the squat, the bench, the deadlift, the overhead press, these are all technical lifts. They require a lot of technique. And in the squat, people give you so many cues, but you can only focus on one or two before you start driving yourself crazy and overthinking the lift. So for example, in the squat, a lot of times you'll hear, push your knees out, lift your chest up, keep your lats tight, brace your core, squeeze your glutes, hip drive, all of these things. If you're thinking about all of those during each rep, you're probably going to mess up a few of them and it will throw you off for the entire set. So during this session, what I was really thinking about was my breathing and bracing my core and focusing on intra-abdominal pressure. And that's probably going to raise the question, should I buy a belt or should I wear a belt or not? And I made a video on this in the past, but to sum it up real quick, use a belt if you want to use a belt when you start getting closer to your 1 rep max or higher percentages. A belt is not going to prevent injury or shitty form. It's going to act as a band-aid if you already have an injury, and it might mask that a little bit, but that's not what it's used for. If you have pain or if you're dealing with an injury, a belt is not going to do anything for that. So use it as a tool to assist you. Use it to help you brace your core. If you're working with heavier weights, it's fine, but make sure you have your technique down first. And like I mentioned earlier when I was talking about focusing on one thing during each session, this goes for every lift, but we're using the squat as an example since today was leg day. I said I was focusing on my breathing during this training session. That was the only thing that was really on my mind, and if something else didn't look right, I would watch the footage back and make sure to correct it next time. So another good thing to work on would be maybe your walkout. When you unrack the bar with some heavy weight, are you taking 3 or 4 or 5 steps back before you can get your feet into position? Something like that can tire you out when you have a lot of weight on your back. So that's another thing you could work on. You could work on, driving your knees outward. So maybe put a belt or a band around your knees when you're squatting. So that way, when you go down into the squat and you're coming back up, you're forced to drive your knees outwards to push against that band or belt. So if the squat is something that you're personally struggling with, my best recommendation would be find out why. If you can, film yourself. That is probably the best thing you could do. Film yourself from different angles, preferably a side angle, and then write down cues after you squat. Have a notebook with you in the gym. Go ahead and squat and see what didn't feel right. Are you falling forward? Can you not hit depth? Are you experiencing lumbar flexion? And these might be things due to flexibility and mobility, but it might be something that you never thought of, such as having tight ankles or tight calf muscles that are affecting your squat depth. So I always recommend to people, bring a notebook into the gym if you can. Bring a camera or have a buddy or training partner, or set up your phone somewhere and just try and film your sets and then throw them out there on Facebook or on YouTube and ask people to critique them. That's how I've learned a lot of my technique, from you guys in the comment section. And I still continue to do that. I ask for your feedback on all of my lifts because there's some things that I don't catch sometimes. So I do appreciate all of your feedback as always. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to conclude the video here. If you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure to do so before you leave. If you made it this far and you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click that like button. And lastly, on the right side of your screen, you'll see something that says VIP. If you're not already on that list, go ahead and click that button, and then all you have to do is enter your name and email, and boom, you're on the list. And on that list, you'll be the first to hear about clothing and apparel releases. You'll get some emails from me about some tips and articles that I like to share. You'll be automatically entered for a chance when I do giveaways. So it's free, so get on that list. And that's about it, guys. I appreciate the support as always, and until next time, I'll see you all in the next video.